just saw Return to Silent Hill. And oh, I went into this movie with an open mind. I will state that I only recently got into Silent Hill. I have never seen any of the other movie adaptations. I've heard they're not very good, but that's all I know about them. I have seen Let's Plays of the Silent Hill 2 remake, so at least I know what the movie is supposed to be about, and I've seen Let's Plays of Silent Hill F, and that's it. I haven't seen anything else about Silent Hill. I haven't seen any movies. I know that it's psychological horror. That's mostly what they go for, and that's about it. So I'm very new to Silent Hill. So my takes on it might be a little bit different from a fan's, but considering how I feel about this movie, I feel like an actual Silent Hill fan is gonna be thoroughly enraged because I hated this movie. It was not good in so many different ways. The plot is all over the place. Like my thing about Silent Hill is that it's psychological horror, and I feel like it was trying to be into that in a way that it didn't mesh well with the video game it was adapting. Because, like, the whole point of Silent Hill 2 is that James goes back to Silent Hill after he essentially killed his wife out of frustration and grief from just constantly having to take care of her while she's sick. And everything around him is based off of his inner frustrations. Like the nurses, the sexy nurses are based off of like his lustfulness for like wanting to have sex with Mary, but like she's too sick, so he starts lusting after the nurses. Like that's why everything's made out of like legs and body parts, but like no faces and stuff like that. And it's like Pyramid Head is himself in sort of like this enraged, angry form, and they kind of went with that, but not really. Like the sexy nurses in this movie have no reason to be there whatsoever. Like they kind of just like took their relationship and made it super shallow and nothing else. Like one, they're not married, which I was like, okay, fine, but they live in Silent Hill. Mary is a part of some weird cult that her dad was in charge of, and they've just been slowly poisoning her since her childhood, and that's how she dies. And she asks James to kill her. Like, that's how that all happens. I mean, I'm not someone who wants something direct between adaptations. Like, I'm not someone who needs something like that, but when it, like, completely misses the point of the thing that it's adapting, it loses its entire plot for me. Like, they reveal that Pyramid Head is James, but it's just an angry James who's just mad about his girlfriend being in a cult and she won't leave with him. And that's about it. It has nothing to do with that. Like, he thinks Mary's still alive, which is fine, but you're sort of in this spiel where it's like, does he live in a Silent Hill that's okay? And he's just hallucinating all of this, or is it something else? We don't really know at the end. He essentially kills himself, but we're not entirely sure. Like, that's the whole spiel with that, but it makes no sense. And all of the added characters have no point on being there too. Like, Angela is essentially supposed to be a plot device, and she is also Mary. Laura is also a plot device, and she is also Mary, like a child version of Mary, essentially. And then Eddie shows up for one scene and then leaves, and that's it. And it doesn't talk about the fact that they're all in Silent Hill for different reasons in the game, and they all see different things, and the only person who doesn't see anything is Laura. But in this version, Laura can see everything, and she's like just a really creepy little girl, and it makes no sense to me. This plot, oh my god, this plot is just all over the place, and I was not a fan of it. Some bits were fine. Like, I liked the back and forth between being in Silent Hill when James is there and like everything's grotesque and awful, to like him remembering his relationship with Mary. I thought that was cool. That was really interesting. But like a lot of this movie I just did not enjoy. The special effects are awful. The first time I noticed it is there's a shot of him like staring off into a distance where it like cuts to a scene where him and Laura are hanging out in this grass field kind of near a church. And there's like a painting of her, and she has her first nosebleed in front of him, and it's cute. And then it cuts back to a shot of him like in Silent Hill when it's all creepy, and the church behind him is like it's so green screened, it does not look good. And I was like, oh, that's a bad shot, like that's so green screened, I don't like that. And then it kept going, all the creatures are CGI'd, every single one of them, and it's not good CGI either. Like I legit I mean, I know that people work really hard on this, so I don't want to be really mean because I do understand that people worked really hard on this, and I know nothing about CGI and special effects, like visual special effects, and I know it takes a lot of time and a lot of energy to make all of that. But I wholeheartedly say I think the graphics of the video game look better than the special effects in this movie. Like, I don't want to be mean about it, but they're really bad. Like, just not good at all. It's so fake looking. It, like, completely pulled me out of the movie because I was excited. I was like, I want to see the nurses. Like, the nurses and Pyramid Head are, like, the two most iconic things of Silent Hill, especially Silent Hill 2. And we see both of them, and it's like Pyramid Head looks fine. He's probably the most realistic looking thing in that movie. But the nurses look awful. And it completely took me out of that movie. I was like, I'm not creeped out by anything. I'm not someone who gets scared by horror very easily, but psychological horror usually does it in for me. And when I watched Let's Plays of Silent Hill 2, I was like, this is a really interesting story that's actually kind of scary because it's like you put yourself in James's shoes and he has convinced himself so much that he didn't kill Mary that when you realize that he did, it's insane. And I liked that about the story from the video game, and it just didn't work for the movie. And it might be because I already know what happens, but it just didn't work. It felt like they were trying to like speed run the video game in 2 hours with a plot that made no sense. And it like they're like, let's go to all the iconic places, so let's go to the like the what was it, Lover's Point, I think it's called in the game, but like the sort of like maze garden area where he meets Maria. So like that area, let's go there, and let's go to the hospital, and let's go to, I think there was a sequence with the apartment, so let's go to the apartment, and let's go to the hotel, and like let's see Pyramid Head and all the like iconic creepy monsters and stuff like that. So the nurses, the ones that don't have arms but have a head, the one actually no, we didn't get anyone that was just legs. We got spiders, which I don't remember being in the game. Like they were fine, but they looked really fake and bad. So like it completely took me out of the movie. But it's like, let's add all the things that people like about Silent Hill and put it into a movie that had a chaotic plot that made no sense. I was not a fan. It just didn't work. And they did, oh my god, I just remembered they did those extra characters so dirty. Eddie is useless. Eddie shows up in that one scene where he's throwing up and then he ditches James and never appears again. So you don't know anything about Eddie. And then Angela shows up, and she shows up the most besides Laura out of like all the other characters. But it's like she shows up in the graveyard, she shows up again in like the dance room with the knife. But if I'm remembering correctly, in the game she's trying to kill herself and James stops her from doing that. And in this one he just like gets creeped out and leaves because she's yelling at him. And then later on it's revealed that Angela is also Mary, and instead of having this dark horrible story of how Angela's father treated her, it's turned into how Mary's father treated her. But instead of abuse in like physical and like molestation abuse, it's in the form of like trapping her in this cult. Like it didn't work, and it like left a sour taste in my mouth in the way that they portrayed it in the film. I did not like it. It felt like they were trying to like relate it to Angela from the games, but it didn't work, and it wasn't done well, and I was just not a fan. Like I will say I am not a Silent Hill fan. Like, well, no. I'm becoming a Silent Hill fan, but I'm very new to the games, and so I've only seen the Let's Plays once, so I don't know a whole lot about the story of Silent Hill 2. But from that, like, I thought that Angela in the game was really interesting. I thought her, like, both her and Eddie's stories were really hard. Like, Eddie was kind of an asshole, if I remember correctly, in the video game, but, like, they both went through things in their past that they had to get through, and it was like they were horrible stories because it's psychological horror. Silent Hill fucks with your brain, and in a way, I feel like the only thing with this one was that it's like, no, it only fucks with James's brain and nobody else's, and it didn't work for me in that. Maria was just kind of there. I feel like she's also just kind of there in the game too, but she was like more kind of there in this one. Like, she doesn't do much. She's just like, hey, we should just go, and that's it. Like, she doesn't do anything else. It was just not the same. I didn't. Yeah. Oh my god. I did not like this movie. I wanted to like it. I was like, oh, like a Silent Hill movie. That sounds like it would be fun. Because, like, the vibes of Silent Hill are really cool to me. Like, creepy town. It's giving Pacific Northwest vibes with the fog and everything. Like, it's cool. I like it. I like the design of a lot of the monsters in Silent Hill, and I was like, I want to see that on a movie screen. That sounds like it would be really fun. And then I watched that movie, and I just, like, every couple minutes, I was just like, it looks bad, and I don't like where this plot is going, and it's just not that entertaining. And I don't know. Yeah, I don't even know. Like, I know that it takes time and effort to write a movie, like, from experience, and I never wrote feature-length films. I only did hour-long pilots. And I'm sure an adaptation is even worse. Like, I tried my hand at an adaptation, but it was only like a 10-page adaptation. Like, it was nothing compared to this. But it's like, when you take the original source material and you just take the visual idea and really nothing else from it, it just doesn't work. At that point, just make something new. Just, like, have it take place in Silent Hill and just have something new. Like, just create a whole new story in the town and call it a day. Like, it didn't work. And I think part of it is that the second they put in the weird cult plot, I was checked out for the rest of the movie. I was like, no, I'm out. I'm done. I think there's a weird cult in the first Silent Hill game, but there isn't one in the second. And so I was just like, I don't know why we have a weird cult. I don't understand the weird cult. I'm not here for the weird cult thing. It made no sense to me. I was not a fan. I really didn't like this movie. I will say, there were some things that I did like. I did really like the cinematography in this movie. I thought the cinematography was really, really good. There were some really cool shots. There was some really awesome camera movements and stuff like that. There was a ton of vertigo shots. Maybe a little too many vertigo shots, actually. I was like, this is a lot of vertigo shots, and I don't think all of them are necessary. But I liked that. There's a scene in an elevator when it's going down really quickly. Obviously, they're doing cuts in between each one, so it's not done very smoothly, I will admit that, but it's like essentially circling in this elevator between James and Maria, and I thought that was really interesting, because I think at one point it like does a circle around, and instead of Maria, it's like I don't even know how to describe it, like the sunken in corpse of Mary instead, and I thought that was a really interesting cut to like all of a sudden put in. Like, I wish that it was a bit smoother in terms of cutting, because it doesn't feel like a full circle, so it kind of like drew me out a couple times, but I thought that was really cool. Like, there's a really awesome shot if I think it's when the siren first goes in the film, and it's like a wide of Silent Hill covered in all the fog and stuff like that, and James like walking through the street, and I thought that shot was super duper cool. I was like, this is a cool shot. This is the vibes that I'm going for, and they had a couple like that, and I really liked those. I thought those were really cool. But a lot of the other times, it's like there might be a really cool shot, but then it was like matched with like the fakest fucking looking special effects that I've seen in a really long time, that I was just like, god damn it, it looks so bad. It looks so bad. So there's that. And then the other thing that I really liked was the music. But I knew I was gonna like the music. The music is done by Akira Yamaoka, who did, I probably butchered that name, I apologize, but who did the soundtrack for the game. But I was worried that it was gonna be like an almost match for match with the game, and I'm glad it's like basically a new soundtrack. I am very, very glad for that, because I was like, I don't know if I want, like, I want something that's similar, like has the similar like vibes and rhythms and stuff like that, but I don't want the same soundtrack in the movie, and I'm glad that it's not the same and it still works, and I really, really liked that. So I love the music and I love the cinematography, and I essentially hated everything else. I'm just like, oh no, I'm so scared for other video game adaptations now. I mean, there, I feel like video games have a history of having really bad adaptations. I think the only ones that I think, and they're not good movies, they're just really fun, and I expect fun and not good, was the Five Nights at Freddy's movies. I was like, those movies aren't good, but they definitely have better special effects than the Silent Hill movie, goddamn. But like, those movies are fun, but I feel like it's also easier to make an adaptation with that because there's no plot in Five Nights at Freddy's the video game. There's no plot. So I feel like you have a better free reign of that. But with Silent Hill, it's like, this is a video game that is essentially a movie. It's one of those video games that is a movie. It's a movie that takes you 9 hours to get through. And so when you try to adapt something that already has like a pretty succinct plot like that, and then you change it in a way where you kind of take the main point of the plot and what James is going through and like diminish it, it just doesn't work. I feel like even if I hadn't known what Silent Hill is about, I still probably wouldn't like this movie. I'm like, one, like I said, the special effects just don't look good, and two, the plot is just so all over the place that it just doesn't work out. It's like James meets Mary, they form a relationship, he eventually moves to Silent Hill with her. He meets all her weird culty friends who essentially worship her dead dad. And then he catches them having creepy meetings in their apartment, and then follows his girlfriend to this creepy underground place where they essentially poison her and feed off the blood that oozes out of her skin. And then he abandons her because she won't leave the city with him. And then he comes back later and kills her because she asks him to, and that's it. And then he keeps waking up off and on with the psychiatrist. So then you're like, okay, is he already in Silent Hill and this is all a dream, or is it not? Who knows? Oh my god, it was just all over the place, and I was just not a fan of it. I really wanted to like this movie, and I just did not. So, well, I hope you enjoyed my tangent about how much I didn't like Return to Silent Hill. So let me know what you thought of this movie if you've seen it. Thank you. Like, subscribe. Bye-bye.